Guys, Brian Marquesano here. Today's video, we're going to be discussing how does social circle game work and why. And to be honest, I don't even really like to call it social circle game because this isn't really a game. This is actually real people. This is a real strategy. It's a real technique. And I don't want anybody to think that this is like some type of superficial thing. That's just kind of what people call it in the space. And so we're going to go along with it. Today's video, I'm super excited to explain some of these concepts to you. So let's get right into it. Now, the purpose of this video, guys, is I'm going to explain to you why social circle strategies are really the ultimate method for making friends and attracting women, man. Compare it to all of the other things that you've probably tried in the past, such as, cold approach, maybe dating apps, or maybe you've been going on those run clubs, maybe you've been going to meetups and you've been, just think about all of the different things that you're doing right now, right? Like everybody shares one common desire, and it's to have better people in their life. And we're all to some extent, running social circle systems in one way or the other. So what I'm going to do in this video today is teach you guys what you need to do in order to finally take your social life to the next level, achieve success with friendships and dating, plus some steps that you're able to actually take. And why what we're going to discuss here is so much better than all the things that you've been trying up until this point. A little bit about why maybe it's not working as well. So, all right. First topic. First thing I want to cover is the triple win framework. So this is really important. So what is the triple win framework? Well, it's a win-win-win scenario between you, guys, and girls. So think of all of the other things that you're doing to make friends or meet girls. It's probably separated, right? You're seeing friend making over here on one side, and then your love life over here, the other side, right? So typically in this mindset, it's men are competition and, women are just leads and prospects. So with the social circle system, we're actually able to bring value to guys that you want to be friends with and bring value to the girls that you want to date at the exact same time. So actually what we're going to be talking about here isn't a comparison to dating apps. It's not a comparison to cold approach. We're actually talking about something completely different. So it's a shift in paradigm. It's a complete flip on the mindset here. So it's actually not even apples to apples. Like we're literally going to be discussing apples to oranges. So not only does, being able to bring the guys you want to be friends with, the women that you want to date together into the funnel at the same time, it saves you time, right? But this is also more effective. Why? We're shifting into what's known as a collaborative mindset. So who you're friends with makes you more attractive, right? We call this social proof. If you've got a bunch of really cool friends, it's going to just make you seem more attractive to other people. And women, help you forge bonds with friendships too. So we call this value arbitrage, right? Like a guy that's got women in his life is going to make him, a cooler dude to be friends with the other dudes, right? So these two things go hand in hand. That's why not only is it faster, it's also more effective. And let me explain more about this in these next couple of slides. But let's talk about cold approach for a second. So when it comes to cold approach, typically what's happening is you're going to be flying solo. You're going to be feeling anxious. You're going to be studying a bunch of infield. You're going to be paying a coach. And you're going to be basically going out of your way to do something that you kind of don't want to do. In my opinion, really the only big benefit to doing any of that stuff for an extended amount of time or hiring a coach and learning that stuff is because you're going to build a different relationship with rejection, which is good. But trust me, man, you do not have to do all of that. So here and there is fine, right? But for any guy that's actually experienced in dating, they will tell you that you do not want to make that your main method, right? Because if you look down the line, 1 year, 2 years later, you're going to realize that you've been running around in circles for a long time. It's a waste of time. So just trust me when I tell you, man, it is time to graduate. Let's get into the next topic. So one key topic when it comes to social circle is what I like to call the already always concept. So what exactly is that? Think about this. Like when you're trying to time bridge, AKA like set up a time and a place to take a girl out on a date, or let's say that you're wanting to network with a really, successful person, right? You're going to maybe try to offer lunch on you, right? what you're going to find is this is going to be very laborious. There's going to be a lot of flaking. There's going to be a lot of ghosting. There's going to be a lot of frustration, right? Like, I'm sure you've been there. No matter how good your cold approach coach is, like, you're still going to be in this world of like wins and losses, right? There's going to be, it's a numbers game. So I'm sure you've been there, right? And it's because what's happening is you're asking them to go out of their way to spend time with you. And you're also going out of your way to spend time with them. And so really the problem with this is that it's just too much too soon for the relationship. So there's just not enough investment in you on their end quite yet for that to be a really effective strategy. Now, what if instead, right? What if instead of doing that, what if you were able to invite these people to something that they value that you're already doing regardless of their attendance or not, right? That's what we're doing here with Social Circle. So it draws in the people who are actually interested, and it weeds out the time wasters and low interest people. So what happens is we're creating a scenario where we can just always succeed, where we can just always be winning, and it's much better. So when you invite somebody to something that you're already going to do anyways, it's more attractive for one thing because it's less pushy, man. It's less needy. You have to try 10 times less hard. All you're basically doing is just giving them an offer, right? And so the beauty of this, right? The beauty of this is that it allows you to stay in the game and keep swinging the bat over time. Now, you cannot say the same thing about trying to ask a girl out on a date. You've pretty much got one shot at that. You can go through your text messaging sequence that, one of these dating coaches teaches you to ask her out. But when she leaves that message on read, bro, you are cooked. You're done. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to ask her out again? You're going to ask her out 2, 3, 4 times? It's not possible. You can't do it. You've got one shot. And that's not the way to go. So the thing about with Social Circle, you can keep inviting people to valuable opportunities, and they may not be able to make it or not, but there have been situations where if what I'm inviting them to is valuable enough, it actually lowers their status if they're not able to make it, which I can then later prove on Instagram through, visuals, right? So that's actually think about how that gets completely flipped, right? They are given an opportunity to come along with me to do something that I'm already going to do. And for those that are out of town or can't make it, they are going to feel like they have missed out. So again, this is how we bring people into our lives, and this is how we're actually going to be able to develop real relationships without playing the numbers game. So I want to talk about one last concept here, and it's the concept of OPS, which is what I call it, and it's just other people's status. So you hear this a lot, right? Status matters. Humans are hierarchical creatures after all, right? Yes, it's definitely true. So if you're freshly divorced, if you move to a new city, if you're behind in life, if you're starting at zero, you probably have low or no status. Like, you've just been out of the game. You don't have a presence in the market. So I'm telling you right now, if you go straight into the dating market and you hire a guy like, John Anthony Lifestyles to make you a Tinder profile and make you go out into the field and get your reps in for your cold approach, you may have a couple early wins. Good for you. Really awesome. But what you'll find is that you're going to get stuck. You're going to plateau and you're going to be snacking on carp. And it's also not helping you to build something greater with friendships that can compound. So let me ask you a question, man. Don't you want top quality women? Don't you want like-minded, successful men as best friends? I'm sure you do, right? So let's just skip all of that and let me teach you how to borrow other people's status, because you can't get anywhere in the very beginning without at least understanding this concept. So within a social circle system, I may not personally be high status. I might be brand new to the city, but the people at my party might be high status. And then some of that is bestowed upon me. So I might not be high status because I've been out of the game for a while, but the venue that I'm inviting people to might be high status. And so I can borrow and leverage status from the venue. So what you're going to start to realize here is that this is going to be much more strategic than it is tactical. And the beauty there is strategy can be implemented quickly. Tactics need to be learned and internalized, and it can actually take a lot of training. So, it's easier to get started with this. And for that, that reason, the social circle strategy is going to put you in these environments. The whole idea here is that you're constantly in warm environments. So the best opener, do you guys want to know what the best possible opener is? I'll give it to you right now. It's, hey, nice to meet you. How do you know the name of the person that introduced you, man? So you're constantly getting new introductions, and you're not relying on flash judgment situations or how good your game is. Like I always say this, like, fuck your cold approach. Yeah, maybe, do it once in a while, get good at it, practice it for a couple weeks, move on, man. Think about it. How do you want to meet your significant other? Do you want it to be a rehearsed strategy of walking up and running a routine or swiping on an app? Or do you want to think about how, like in the movie The Wolf of Wall Street, right? Like think of a guy at the pinnacle of success. How does he meet Naomi in that movie? He's hosting a party. He's the guy that is allowing all these other people to have a great time. And in comes somebody he's never met before, and it's a warm introduction. And immediately, all of the selling and telling is already done. And it's an immediate spark. It's an immediate connection. It's the shit out of the movies. And so that's what gets to happen here. That's the beauty of it, man. That's how I want to meet my wife. Like, I don't want to have to tell my family, hey, I optimized my Tinder profile and, we matched. That's lame, dude. Like, that's fucking stupid. Doesn't this sound 10 times better? So what I will say to you guys is, if this sounds even slightly interesting to you, book a free call, use the link in the description. Let me show you how this works so that you can take a look at it. And if you decide for yourself you don't like it, great. If you want to talk about next steps, that's cool too. If not, feel free to revert back to time spent cold approaching girls on the streets and swiping your life away. Hope this video was helpful for you guys, and I will see you on the other side. Peace out.